When we think of vintage tone, a lot of times we think of Gibsons, Fenders, Rickenbackers, and Gretsch's. But what we forget is that in the early to mid 60s, string manufacturers changed the way electric guitar strings are made. Today, companies like Ernie Ball and Fender use the term nickel wound, while Fender uses nickel plated as a term to refer to the fact that the strings are not pure nickel, they are plated in nickel. So what does that mean? It means that your 3 plain strings are steel, and your 3 wrap strings are a steel core wire wrapped with a steel wire plated in nickel. Originally being much different. Originally, the strings were a steel wire wrapped with a pure nickel wrap. Now that's a big difference because it changes the way the guitar sounds. Pure nickel has a warmer sound, a softer sound, and it really, really goes together well with those old vintage pickups that tend to be a little bright. So where can you get pure nickel strings? Well, oddly enough, those same companies I just mentioned all make pure nickel strings, along with GHS and DR. In fact, they're always referred to as pure nickel strings. Now again, pure nickel referring to only the wrap strings and only the wraps. So why would you want a pure nickel string? Well, let's give you a couple good reasons and some sound comparisons. Now, the first reason is if your guitar is really bright or harsh, this will mellow and warm it up. It's a really easy fix. It's a lot cheaper than pickups for sure, just to put on a $7, $8 pack of strings. Another reason is if you don't like to change strings very often, something you may not realize is that as you wear the nickel off the plating of those round strings, that steel wire is exposed and it will actually divot, it'll cut into your frets and wear your frets a little bit. So sometimes a pure nickel string that will wear a little deeper, you'll notice a divot in your string way before a divot in your fret. Now, what are the reasons why you wouldn't want to try them? Well, they tend to be warmer, like I said. So a plated string will be a little cheaper, which is nice in the pocketbook, but mostly it'll be a little brighter and have a snappier attack. So let's do a sound comparison. We'll do the nickel plated versus the pure nickel and see if you can hear a difference. To me, it seemed like the nickel strings were brighter on the high strings because those were steel, and warmer and, I don't know, softer on the low strings. So that's how that's how I heard what I heard. What's interesting to note is a couple things that are important. One is that both set of strings were brand new, so that's important. They were put on, and then I did the demo, took them off, and put the pure nickels. Same guitar, same pickup. I used the neck pickup, and I strummed when I did the E chord. I strummed right over the pickup. I try to keep it as consistent as possible, although there's no way this is even close to being scientific. It's really just an impression of what you might find. A couple things I want to point out that I've noticed. I've had no experience in the past with the nickel strings breaking faster or needing more stretching or less stretching. It's really common, but I'm really curious to see what you guys think. If you've tried pure nickel strings before, tell me your experiences down below. Were they good? Were they bad? What did you experience? Did you have problems keeping them in tune? Did you switch to them and never switch back, and it's been, a romance ever since? Other musicians could benefit from insight from other players. So please put that in the comments down below. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. It was fun and interesting to do this video, and I hope you had fun watching it. And as always, until next time, know your gear.